Excuse ODG.
You're listening to the John Nicoll Show.
Definitely are. It's John here. Hope you're all right today. I'm on until 4. We've got a very busy show today. Abimagauran will be on in about 20 minutes' time to discuss Celebrity Big Brother. Also, Route 94 play next. Right now, this is Rita Ora.
I'm gonna love you until you hate me. Back home.
That's Marcus Collins. Wonder where he is now.
You're listening to the John Nicoll Show.
Yeah, you are. And also, Abimagauran's on the line. Good afternoon, Abby.
Hi, I've come to harass you again.
So you're here to discuss CBB, but before we do that, let's just quickly mention your blogs, because apparently they've been creating quite a storm on the internet. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I think maybe because I'm a little bit opinionated and people want to go against my opinion sometimes. But yeah, they've done really well, actually. I'm really happy with the way that they've gone, and people have really enjoyed them. I've tried to add a lot of humour and just kind of get down to the point of my thoughts.
Right, now, a certain hashtag was nearly trending the other day, but we'll not mention that. Now, we're here to discuss... you're here to discuss Celebrity Big Brother. Now, basically, compared to previous series, how does the lineup compare? Because the last time we had you on the show was when you were discussing the rumours going into the house. Now that we have the housemates confirmed, how does the lineup match previous series?
I think it's probably the best lineup that Celebrity Big Brother has ever had, because you pretty much knew everyone who was going in. Normally you're kind of like, oh, who's that person, who's the other person, and you're researching them. I think there were probably about 3 people that I didn't know. Everyone else, I thought, okay, that's good. So paid some money this time.
So who was the most and least impressive then on launch night after they'd all been kicked in the house?
Probably Katie Hopkins being most impressive, I would have thought. Just because she had to cope with so many boos. I don't know. I know that we've seen her in the house. She's got a heart. That must have killed her to walk down and have all of that, and then have the extra pressure of having to be nice to everyone. But then Alicia, obviously, being the worst. She couldn't even talk to Emma on the red carpet, but on the walkway, because she just floundered. It was embarrassing. It was really bad viewing, and she's not really changed.
Oh dear. So I suppose you disagree with Katie's decision then to name Alexander and Chloe as the 2 most boring housemates?
I think she probably could have swapped Alexander for maybe Kavanagh, because we've still not seen him. We've probably had about 2 minutes airtime the whole series for Kavanagh Besson. He doesn't really do much. He is just a boring housemate. You'd
agree with Chloe being a boring housemate?
Yes, because I don't think she really brought anything to the house. Even in her interview with Emma was so boring. It was, you'd fall asleep to it.
Oh dear. Now, last Friday, after much speculation, Katie Price entered the house. Has she actually made the programme better or worse? Because, in my opinion, her entry to the house has been a bit of a letdown. She's not been as controversial or as argumentative as papers have led us to believe.
What I said in my blog, and I still think I'm completely right here, is that she got the rice that she wanted to go into the Big Brother house, so she got the money for it. She probably said to all the producers she was going to cause a massive scene in there, she was going to be a big personality. But once she's in there, they can't actually control her, and I think she just want to take a step back. And yeah, she's been mellow and she's got on with all of the housemates, and I don't think she was ever going to be the massive character they thought she was going to, because she's too bright for it. She's a bright businesswoman. She's not going to do anything to tarnish her reputation in the Big Brother house.
Yeah, I agree. I really wanted to see Katie Hopkins and Katie Price arguing. But anyway, we'll talk some more after this. This is the American Authors in Best Day of My Life. It's Tiesto, We're Wasted. Right, Abby's still on the line.
I'm here.
Okay, so let's talk about the 3 people that have been either removed or they've voluntarily left the house.
It's not all of the house now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really. It's like they've halved in numbers almost. Right now, on day 4, Jeremy was removed for an incident that took place the prior evening. Obviously, we're not going to talk about what happened and all that, stuff. But how has his leaving actually changed the house? Do you think it's changed for the better or worse?
I think people aren't as scared about drinking, because I know that people were worried about him, especially Michelle, people like Perez, who know him in America, that said that, he's dealt with so much. And I think they were on eggshells thinking, is he going to start a massive fight at some point? Is he going to go crazy? So I think it kind of relaxed everyone a little bit, especially when they were trying to enjoy the night. But in hindsight, he hasn't, I'm sorry, it's all the same now. It's not made any difference.
Yeah, now Ken Morley also has been removed, and during the first few days, I'll have to admit he was actually a favourite for me.
Yeah.
Just watching kind of toddle around the house was actually quite entertaining viewing, but he spoiled it with his views. Now, again, let's not focus on what he said, but were you disappointed by him being forced to leave? Because as far as I know, a lot of the housemates were going to actually stage a walkout.
Yeah. To be honest, I actually do love Ken. I've said it in my video blogs, but I think with him, what he said about Cammy and Chloe to Nadia, just saying, you know what, I'm a guy, I think they look great, so why can't I look? I'm not offended by that being a woman myself. If I'm dressing up in bikinis, wearing absolutely nothing around the house, what do you expect? And he is a guy, it doesn't matter how old he is. If it was a difference between Callum looking, nothing would be said. But just because Ken looked, I don't know why Nadia went so off the hook about it, because any guy would have done the same, and I'm sure they have done it, just that Ken got penalised for it. So I think it's a shame that he's gone. I know he's done other things, but I think it is double standards.
Yeah, I was going to actually say to you, is it double standards? Because, like I said, about a month ago when Edwina Curry, who's on this show on Friday, by the way, when she was in the jungle, she was actually physically touching Jake on the back and the stomach. Yeah. And it was like, that's all kind of funny because it's an older woman. But Ken looking, he wasn't touching, he was just looking at Chloe and Cammy Lee. That's unacceptable. Is that double standards, do you think?
Totally double standards. I don't know. I've been looking on Twitter about it, and most girls were going, that's such an overreaction from Nadia's point of view, and I don't like the way that he was attacked as well. He was obviously doing the task, he was on the bicycle, he couldn't move, he couldn't get out of the situation, and she just wouldn't stop attacking him. And, he did say quite rightly, I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think it's bad. If you're going to wear nothing, I'm going to look. And they've got great bodies, which everyone will admit they do. So, you know what, the whole public's looking, why not Ken, who's in the actual house?
Well, yeah, I agree. And also, just a quick side comment as well, and that is that the way he was treated in a certain interview on a certain programme wasn't the best, let's be honest, but let's leave it at that. Now, also, Alexander left the house on Saturday following several arguments with Perez. Will he be a big loss for the house? You see what I did there? Big, because he's a big guy. Anyway, never mind.
I think the kind of daddy figure's gone from the house now, because he was such a fatherly figure in there, and I think he was the one person that would calm the situation down. And he'd put people in their place and people would listen to him because he was the oldest one in there. I think it's just a shame that he's gone, because for someone to actually basically behave so badly, it forced him out. It's ruined his time in the house. And I have no idea if he actually got paid for that because he walked.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Now, I agree with you. I do think it's a shame. But does Perez deserve to be booted out because essentially what he's done here is he's kind of harassed Alexander into quitting? Do you think he should be kicked out?
I think if it got to a level, then Big Brother would have stepped in. I mean, to be honest, I was quite shocked that Alexander hated Perez that much, because we didn't see too much of that on TV. So to me, it's like a bit of a shock. It was like, oh, God, Alexander's left. I didn't think he was that worked up about it. Perez should have left for a number of reasons, but at the same time, he's so entertaining. I hate to say it. He is literally like Marmite.
Yeah, he is. Right, we'll talk about Perez. We'll also talk about Katie Price, Nadia, and all the other housemates after this. This is Maroon 5 and Maps.
I miss the taste of the sweet life. I miss the conversation.
Mary J. Blige. And right now,
song.
Do you like that song?
Yeah, I love that song.
What did you say, by the way? What song? What did you say?
It's a cracking song.
Oh, God, thank God. I just heard the ing part of that sentence. Right. Sheesh. Right, now let's talk about Celebrity Big Brother again. Now, I think we can all agree that Perez likes causing drama, and it can be somewhat entertaining, but in my opinion, it's kind of crossed the lining to him just becoming quite irritating. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do, actually. I think if he isn't in the house, though, it will be a lot more boring. But you do just want to grab the television, your hand straight through it, and throttle the man, because I think for him, he doesn't know the English television and what us viewers want to see. And he is just taking it to a whole new level. I think because he is, he saw all the blogs and he saw all the tweets before he went in, he thinks that if he causes drama like that, he's going to go far. But there is a fine line between being entertaining and being a villain of the house, to when you come out, no one actually wants to know you. And I think that's kind of where he's hedging now.
Do we still think that he was the one on Twitter, by the way, favouriting all them tweets and that?
He was the one, sorry, what?
Do we all still think that was him who was favouriting and tweeting, or the day before he went in?
Yeah, I do. I think he probably had in his contract, up until he went in the house, he could have his phone because he knew everything about everyone when they came in. And for an American person, you wouldn't know who Kavanagh was or Nadia or anyone. He knew exactly. He even knew that Kavanagh was gay.
Oh.
I didn't even know that. He must have done his research somewhere along the line.
Absolutely. Now, where do you stand on the Katie and Nadia argument? Because Katie Hopkins, by the way, her argument is that all the housemates should ostracise Perez, and Nadia actually is quite fond of Perez for whatever reason. Where do you stand on that?
Number one, I absolutely hate Nadia. I really, I think she's the worst judge of character. I don't know why she's friends with Perez. I think that Katie's completely right. If no one gives Perez any energy whatsoever, then he's going to pipe down because he's going to have no one to play to, and I'm sorry, he'll just get bored of doing it. But Nadia kind of spurs him on, and I don't know why she loves him so much. It's just the most weird thing to watch, because you would have thought, being an older lady, she would have more experience. She's been in the show business well for ages. She knows when people are playing up, but she's just got to be in every single fight, every single argument, and she just concerns herself with everything. And that woman, if I was in there, would get her slapped.
Oh dear. We've had a text in from Ellen who actually agrees with you. She said Nadia is a complete idiot. She thinks she knows everything and gets involved in every single argument. Not keen.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I don't think anyone's keen. When she comes out, the first thing she'll do is go on to, obviously, the programme that she was on ITV, and, they're all digging her up and loving her. The woman's an idiot. Oh. She really is. I think she's kind of self-destructed her own career from this.
Oh dear, don't hold back.
No, I really don't like her. She's probably the worst person in there for me.
Oh dear. Now, as I was saying to Yui Pa yesterday, I kind of feel as if Cammy, Lee and Chloe have been bullying Alicia. Do you feel the same?
No.
Oh, great.
I think it's Alicia really is that stupid, unfortunately. I know that it was mean of them to say it, but she was manipulated by Perez, and it even showed, because when Katie Price went in the next day, she said to Chloe, or no, not Chloe, sorry, said to Cammy, and she also said to Michelle, Perez isn't even talking to me today. And they said, well, we did warn you. That's exactly what he was doing. He was just using you. And now he's moved on to Katie Price, who's new in the house. So she realised that what they said was true. Yeah, they could have had a better way of saying it. But yet again, Nadia put her all in again. But
the thing is, though, even if somebody isn't as intelligent as the rest of them, you don't pick on them for that. And also, there was an argument.
I think they were just advising her. They weren't picking on her. They were just saying he's using you. And then it caused a massive drama, because then Nadia got involved and it caused a massive fight. It would have literally been left there if Nadia hadn't got involved, I don't think.
Well, yeah, I take your point, but actually to say to somebody you're unintelligent in a kind of less pleasant way than I just put it isn't very nice. And I know Big Brother's not
was worse for saying that, but
I know Big Brother's not supposed to be nicey nice. I know Big Brother's not supposed to be nicey nice and all kind of, sitting around a table holding hands. I know it's not supposed to be like that, but still, you know what I mean? It's just rude.
Does she even know, though, that she's on a game show? Because last night she went mental that people have put her up for nomination. That is the name of the game. People get voted off. So she was going, I can't trust anyone. Well, no, you can't, because you're on a game show and you're on reality TV. Everyone's in it to win it.
Okay.
I don't think she's quite got the concept, John.
Well, yeah, okay, I'll take that point. Right, now, lastly, let's discuss some other housemates that haven't featured in the conversation so far.
Yeah.
So, opinions on Keith Chegwin. Cheggers.
The only bit that I really liked of him, I've seen of him, is when Perez was in the garden stripping off and saying to Keith, I've done this to just cause a bit of drama, and then it happened. They were like naughty schoolboys, and I wanted to see more of that side of Cheggers, like the cheeky chappy, but we've not seen too much of him yet.
Yeah, I agree. We've also seen him where he was actually telling Perez, go away, I don't want to talk to you. I'm not going to say that to anybody else in this house, but I've said it to you. So he is standing up for himself. But yeah, he provides laughter, and if I'm being honest, the laughter that he has apparently been providing hasn't been shown on telly, which is not the greatest for him. But yeah, I think going into the house on launch night, I asked you earlier on who was your kind of favourite. In my opinion, Cheggers was one of my favourite, and he did look as though he was a potential winner. But since then, he's not been featured much at all. So yeah, it's a shame. Right, let's move on to Michelle, who, as you were saying, there were 3 or 4 people that before Celebrity Big Brother you didn't know. She was one for me. I've never heard of her. How's she been in your opinion?
Yeah, I didn't know about her either. But I have to say, I think she's probably... I don't want to put it out there too much, but I think she's one of my faves.
Oh.
I absolutely love her. She is the voice of reason. She's funny. She speaks exactly what everyone else is thinking, and she's just real with it. I think out of everyone, she's the most real person in the house, and I love her friendship with Katie Hopkins.
All right, now let's move on.
Go on, Michelle.
I'm shocked that you've actually said something nice about one of the housemates.
I know.
But yeah,
I love her.
Let's move on to Patsy, who, if I recall correctly from last time you were on the show, you said that she wouldn't last a week.
Well, she was just lucky because 3 other people went out without, an eviction actually taking place. And she was never up for the first one. She's boring. Do we ever see her? No. She put Perez to stay in the house on the tree task that they had for the evictions, and then she just cowered in the corner when Chloe confronted her. She's a weak person, don't like her, boring.
Oh dear. Right, Callum Best, to be honest, I think you're going to have a more favourable opinion of him.
Yep, I love Callum. Just so good looking. I want to see more stuff without a top on. I did think, though, that he'd cause more drama.
Right, hold on, I'm going to call the police if you continue with that sort of that language.
Pardon?
I was going to do a Nadia and call the police if you're going to start commenting on his looks, but anyway.
No, he's so good looking. Any girl would want to see him in the final just so that we have a bit of eye candy. But I don't think that him and Cammy should get together because I think he just hasn't met me yet.
Right. Okay.
He's waiting and I'm waiting for him.
Awkward. Right, and lastly, Kavanagh.
Is he in the house? Is there a Kavanagh in there?
Somewhere, yeah.
You know what? He's actually coming into his own the last couple of days. He's seen a little bit more airtime of him. He knows that Perez is still playing a game when everyone thinks that he's changed, and he's kind of bonding a little bit more with Callum. But he is just playing it so safe. He's being a bit more opinionated now, but if he wants to be seen more, he really needs to cause problems. That man has had probably about 2 minutes airtime since Celebrity Big Brother began. It's embarrassing. You literally think, Callum who?
Yeah, but no, Kavanagh who you mean.
Kavanagh who, sorry.
Yeah, but do you know, I think Kavanagh's one of those people who... there's a lot of big personalities in there, and when he first came in, it was like, there's loads of people here all being uppity and shouting and, getting on their high horse. I'll just sit here, I'll relax for a little while. And if I'm being honest, that kind of approach does work if you look at Big Brother history. I'll just let the big personalities shout and scream and get voted off first. And then I'll come into my own later on. So, we're saying that now, but who knows, in a week or two, potential winner. I doubt it, but you never know.
That would be such an undeserving winner. I would be a little bit upset, but I know what you mean. It happens every single time. The quietest person will always the end.
Except for last year with Helen, but yeah, anyway, let's not talk about that.
We don't talk about that, John.
Now, lastly, who's next to be evicted now? I believe it's Katie Hopkins, Katie Price? No, it's not Katie Price.
No, it's Katie Hopkins, Alicia, Nadia and Perez.
Right, who's next to be evicted then?
I think it's going to be between Nadia and Perez. I'm hoping, I know this probably people weren't going to expect this, but I want Nadia to leave instead of Perez.
Right.
Perez will be up for nomination the next time anyway, it's just a given. Whereas Nadia might escape the next time, and I think she should leave, once her opportunity is there for the public to vote her out.
Oh, right.
And also, it's one less to Perez in his group.
Yes.
Which might mellow him down.
Good point. Now, Michaela says here, and we'll just end on this. Michaela says, why are people saying why are people saying that this season is the most entertaining? It's not. The housemates are just bullying each other. So, yeah, I agree with that, actually. A lot of the housemates just arguing and all that. But yeah, so hopefully we'll have you back on in the future. We
need a more mellow house. I think that's what Katie Price will bring, because she will be the voice of reason in there now, I think and I hope.
Absolutely. Now, hopefully we'll have you back on in the future, but thanks for coming on the show today.
That's okay.
Okay,
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, it's been great. Here's Ollie Murs. Jessie J, Ariana Grande and Nicki Minaj with Bang Bang. Now, I don't often do this, but Abby's back again. So, Abby...
I'm back!
You wanted to say a quick something before you went off there.
Yes, I just wanted to say, because they are, having a great time right now, hello to my friend Paul Miles and also Joe. They're currently having breakfast in Florida. They are cranking it up a notch right now. They're listening to Preston FM right this very second in Florida.
In actual America?
In the actual America.
That's amazing. We had somebody from Canada who texted me a couple of weeks ago, and emailed a couple of weeks ago, and it's like, I can't believe that my voice is actually being heard in a different continent. It's so bizarre. But yeah.
Exactly. They're in the sun right now, so yes, they're listening to Preston FM whilst catching up on Celebrity Big Brother gossip. So a massive hello to Joe and Paul, cranking up right now.
Okay, so thanks for coming on the show, Abby, once again.
Thanks, John.
Okay, here's Rixton.
You're listening to the John Nicoll Show.
All I need's a little love in my life. All I need's a little